Welcome into the Hey Techies Show. Guru, I think we're still having technical. I can't hear these headsets at all. Wow. And I've almost got it maxed out. I think the master's been turned down. Anyway, we'll figure it out. Wow. I don't know what's going on. I think the master's, there's something happened to it, but it's weird. Anyway,
I'm hearing it fine.
I can't hardly hear anything.
Maybe.
Anyway, all right. So happy to have everybody here tonight. This is the Hey Techies Show, and most of you know what this is. And if you don't know what it is, well, stick around and you'll find out. But we have a wonderful guest in here tonight. If you listen to WLJS on Thursday nights, you know that we come right after Three Guys Talking Sports, and he just did an hour and a half. And, of course, Q helped him there, and Billy, have no idea where Billy's at. Somewhere on the vast ranges of the world, who knows. And anyway, but after the show last week, I sent Daniel a message. I said, hey, man, would you be interested in coming on our first segment of our show? Because there's really something I've been wanting to talk to you about. I've been wanting to get your opinion on. I know you guys are a sports show. You cover a lot of sports.
Yeah.
But last week we covered something together. Last week y'all covered Aaron Andrews and the whole kerfuffle.
Yep.
Y'all did a great job. As much as I could listen to and then try to prep.
As much as I could listen to.
Well,
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
You know what? I can't hear my mic. That's what's wrong. Anyway, because I can hear him. Okay, continue on, Daniel. But what I was getting at is, by the way, this is Daniel Mathangani. Tonight, I really wanted to hear more of you, but the drums outside are so loud, I couldn't even hear myself think to prep for the show.
There's at one point, I will say that we were describing how well-to-do this show is, and you need to know that this show is very well-to-do. There's lights. Y'all really do have the camera in here going. I forget that. I'm going to have to look decent. So, yeah, how well-to-do the show is. And that's sort of our running joke / not joke on the show is that Hey Techies makes all the money. And so we're comparing you all to billionaires. And so I say, Bill Gates, the first billionaire. And then I was like, Warren Buffett's second. So we're technically the Berkshire Hathaway of this. And then I thought, does Warren Buffett own Berkshire Hathaway? And I was like, I don't know. And then y'all start laughing. Y'all crack up back there. And I'm like, wait, he doesn't own Berkshire Hathaway.
No,
Goldman Sachs, Lehman Brothers, what does he own?
Well, now, you do understand we're about 10 or 15, 20 seconds behind. At least 7 to 8 seconds behind. So we were,
Sorry, my bad.
That's okay. But
it is Berkshire Hathaway, just to clarify.
Okay.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
See, there you were right.
There we go. Oh, yeah, it was.
Yeah, something's going on with these headsets because when I talk, I know you don't like me bashing, but it drives me crazy.
Well,
listen to me. Hold on. When I talk, I can hardly hear him. It's almost like one of those walkie-talkies where you can only talk one way.
Mm-hmm.
Really weird.
I just work here.
Okay, so
I just work here.
I had the same problem with mine in the last show, so I'll just let you know.
Something's wrong with this preamp on this mic because I have to
this place is falling apart. If you want to donate, there's a donation going on here at the university, and this place needs some better equipment. But on with the show, Daniel. I wanted to bring him on to specifically talk about his views on how social media and the digital age is affecting sports, not only sports coverage, things you've noticed, things I've heard you cover a little bit. You'll talk about the social media time of day. It seems like almost everybody has an account of some type.
They do. And you're almost pushed to have one at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it comes. I think it comes to mind. I was thinking the other day is NASCAR. Several years ago, they got really serious and cracked down on it. No more phones in the car. They were texting pictures. They were posting them online during a red flag, and they were like, "No, we can't do it." Because two things. One thing they said, it promotes texting and driving. You're out there. Who knows who you're doing when you're? We can't have this. And so there's a lot of effects that has.
Sorry, I don't want to cut you off.
No, cut me off.
No, you're right in that sense, and I don't even really think of it in the NASCAR sense, but that's huge. Especially what it promotes while not promoting it. Clearly, these guys are driving 200 miles per hour. There's no way they're texting and driving. But
no.
But the thought that they just have the phone in the car during a red is big. Thanks, Bruce. I talk on the side of my mic all the time. Okay, I won't let them see too much of me. But the sports and Twitter account and really social media as a whole, what I think is really interesting is two realms of this. In college, how you're almost encouraged to do it throughout high school because it's going to make your journey bigger. If you're a great player, if you're a star player, you're going to connect with fans, you're going to connect with, your brand as you build your brand as a 16 or 17-year-old. It sounds like a joke to say that. But then you get to college and all of a sudden you hit this front where your coaches and your administrators and everybody else do not want you to have a Twitter page, don't want you to go on Instagram a ton because you can get yourself in trouble really, really quickly. Or you can just tweet a thought about something aimless, make it politics or make it school. Or if you're Cardell Jones, who was the quarterback at Ohio State at one point, said, I'm not here to play school, I'm here to play football. And then it's everywhere. And at that point, you can't take it back.
Right.
So there's two thoughts to this. So like that's the school of thought of college where I think it'd be so interesting to get a player to say like what they do with social media and how they do it. The thought of it in the pros is that we call LeBron James the first real athlete that we got to grow up with on social media. And you see how like his career sort of took tops and turns and everything else. And like his brand couldn't be as polished because of what we have in social media. So it's interesting.
I've always been surprised. I've been waiting to see a football player pull a phone out of his drawers on a touchdown and take a shot or do something. Oh, it's happened.
Now,
see, I missed it.
So somebody took a flip phone out and faked the call and acted like they were
calling. Okay.
Joe Horn did this in like 1999, 2000.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So in that sense, it has happened.
Yes,
yeah.
but no, nobody in the new age since like taking a selfie, a real one on the field. Which that would be great.
It would be. It would be interesting. I imagine the backlash of that.
Could you imagine the fines and everything else?
It would be outrageous.
Yes. Yeah.
And I imagine that the dab might consider doing it first.
Yeah. No, you're right. Y'all know about the dab?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
He dabs every time he's, he makes a first down.
Because I have to ask this. What's Bruce's thoughts on the dab?
None.
No, you don't. You have a thought on everything.
No. No, I'm letting y'all do this segment.
Oh no! Don't you even pull that, Guru. Jump in here.
I'm not much to watch sports and anything, so I'm just kind of sitting here taking it in.
Now, at one time, many years ago, technology really didn't have anything to do with any type of sporting as far as the officiating. But that's changed, major changes over the many years. Mm-hmm. For years, I'm lost as who it is. He was the coach at Penn State for many years. Joe Paterno. Yep. He wanted playback. He wanted to have the things we have today as far as being able to review the play and have someone look at it. Mm-hmm. But now it's also in baseball, right? Some. Mm-hmm. Tennis has been for a long time. They really have gone digital age as far as telling whether or not the ball is out.
In or out.
Tennis interesting.
Yeah. It has some. And so it's really expanded. It's changed the game. What he said in here, I can't hear. I'm telling you, I can't hear.
Sharapova. Yeah, I was saying that's made tennis watchable. That and Sharapova.
Oh yeah, okay.
Steroid user.
Oh my goodness, that way too much funny.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for 10 years she's been taking something that she had no idea was making her so much better. It was making her so much better. I heal so quickly, it's weird.
It's a miracle.
Exactly. Miracle pills.
So what's your take on the whole technology thing based on, say, an umpiring of the game, or actually, how does it change the face of it? In your opinion,
I'll say this. I love the way tennis does it. So me and Bruce are in the same line here. Like, you have your regular judges, and when you want to challenge a judge, then we just go to the monitors and we find out like exactly where the ball was out. That works for tennis. It could work really, really well for baseball. Baseball's still not ready to let go of 1905 baseball when baseball was king in the 20s. They're just not ready to let go of their pastime. And I can understand liking the thought of human error, but when we can take out human error, then I don't get it sometimes. And so baseball had the weird rules about replays, like you can only do it in this limited time frame. It can't be about this. Eventually, they're going to get to a day where it's like, do we really care what's a ball or a strike? And it's going to be, yes, we care enough to say, okay, let's do this. We're going to implement replay on everything, and we're going to call it by that. Or they're going to say, no, we don't care enough, and we want the human element. I should say care. Care is too strong of a word. So do you want the human element, or do you not?
Okay, so the thing I see about baseball is that this could seriously affect the stats more than anything has ever affected the stats.
And what is baseball? It's all stats.
Yeah. My point is, strikes and balls alone,
Yes.
a pitcher is made and broken on strikes and balls.
Yep.
If you get something that's more accurate than anybody can possibly imagine, then I'm guessing, my guess is there could be a lot less strikes depending on how you throw the ball.
Yeah.
Or you could have somebody intelligent enough, like a Greg Maddux again, to figure out how to game the system
Yep.
and get as many strikes as anybody could possibly imagine.
Throw where the system like glitches. You'll find something.
Well, yeah, he was smart like that. I mean, he very consummate. I always loved the fact when he got angry because he would have an argument with himself on the mound about what was going on.
Yep.
So.
Greg Maddux, and that's a really good example of a really smart pitcher. And for Greg, who didn't throw over. He really didn't throw over 88, 90 miles per hour. Like, everything was in from 82 to 88 miles per hour for Greg Maddux. It didn't matter what he was throwing you. That's what he was throwing you, and he was going to probably strike you out no matter what he was going to pitch.
Right.
Now, he had a huge, repertoire of lots of different pitches that you could use. But to run back to replay, and I guess I'll run back to replay in baseball in a sense of they also, if you think about it, hockey loves fights. They do.
Yeah.
Hockey loves fighting because
sure.
fighting brings people to your TV.
Right.
At the end of the day, you got to sell everything that you can sell, and hockey allows you to fight because it makes sense because you're on ice and you don't want to stop it, and because they want you to see the fights. Baseball wants the umpires and the coaches to argue and the managers to argue. They want that. You want that to happen. So could you imagine if it's like, go to the replay, it's still a strike, and you have no one to argue with. And so you're just like, man, the manager's just taken out of the game. Exactly.
Yeah.
You throw something and you just can't.
Yeah, right.
You can throw something at a camera.
Yeah, I thought about that. It's a good point.
So I think that part of baseball won't let go of that either. So I just won't say it's all a pastime thing. They won't let go of it. And I have my flaws with football too. Football does the same thing.
Right.
You can only replay at certain times. We can only challenge at certain times. Football's beginning to get it right. I kind of wish they would just open it all up.
But at the same time, football still has a major human element, even in the figuring out who's right or wrong or what's good or bad. Mm-hmm. Baseball, if you do something like the strike zone deal, where there's really no overseeing of it, it's like it's a digital type thing. That's a whole different ball game. I think. I mean, it's gonna change it. And forever. I know. I just think this is important information because of the digital age is changing everything.
Yeah.
And has major effects. And I think sometimes it's not until we look back history-wise and see what kind of effects it really has.
And I don't think that we would have thought baseball would have been here now. I don't think I would have thought in my lifetime I would have gotten not this point in my life, I would have gotten replay in baseball. I would have been like, no, they're going to throw that out every time. They'll never take that. It'll make the umpires almost useless in a sense, or will question the integrity of an umpire who gets something really wrong.
Well, that was the argument for doing it in football to start with.
Yeah.
I mean, and really it's turned out to be a good thing, but I still do see a problem with it a lot of times. It's still subjective in a way.
Yes.
On certain calls. Mm-hmm. They don't a fumble's a fumble. Now if I see it on TV, it looks like they could get it right. I mean, I don't know. But
and you could argue that making replay a big thing in the technology in the digital age has almost backtracked football on what's a reception. What is a catch in the NFL? It's so hard to do. They just tried so hard to regulate everything that it's like, what is a catch? We don't even know anymore.
Right. Yeah, I've heard y'all talk about that before, too.
Oh, my gosh. It'll drive us up a wall going back and watching it. And you'll have kids who've played football from 8 years old to 92 years old, and they'll all say, this is a catch. And the NFL says, no, it's an incomplete pass.
Right.
And you think, what in the world? I am going to spin this, though, on you. For you all, when you look at it, is there some way I could hack a grid if baseball went to the strikes and balls being all technical and being all video replay? Is there some way I could hack a grid and know where to put my ball to make sure it glitches, to make sure the camera doesn't catch it, or to shade it? Is there a way I could do this?
You could always put a backdoor in.
Yeah.
Ask him.
Well, I was going to say it would probably not have glitches. I mean, it's going to be a defined zone. All that's going to be closed anyway. So I mean, you'd have to breach whatever company that they contract that out to come out and record, because I mean they're going to have that. Whoever comes out, whoever that's contracted to, because ESPN doesn't go out and record a bunch. They get these other companies, but then they've got to have this equipment. And I mean, if you could pay somebody that's working on the truck to to like, let's just clip this out right here. But that's gonna be up to the software manufacturer, even if to even allow that.
I guess, and for me, is that like that would be the ultimate worry, of course, is that some way you could build, you can sort of like find a way back in. But if we've seen everybody else get hacked, it's only a matter of time, right?
I mean, I guess we just got to ask the Patriots.
I knew that was coming.
How do we do this?
Well done, Bruce. Well done. Well done. Spygate and the Patriots every time. That's the one thing I think that every sports league fears is that you'll get the guys, you all these three in this room are much smarter than my guys and my three. And at the end of the day, we can build this wonderful game and you all could break it down in a heartbeat.
I don't know about that. I tell you,
Guru's not on board. He's like, yeah, actually we could.
I do tell you,
Probably could.
I do tell you one thing that I would definitely miss is Mike Paris arguing whether that's a strike or a ball.
Yes,
that would make listening to baseball more boring than sometimes it already is.
Oh, Mike's wonderful.
Oh, he is. That's why I listen. My wife came through I was listening this week because Sunday I think it was, or one day, and she said, "You hate baseball." I said, "Yeah, but I like radio and I like listening to somebody talk about the game because they give more information.
Mm-hmm.
They expand your knowledge of the game sometimes just listening. So I like to do that." So.
No, yeah, I'm with you. And Mike, what's crazy about baseball is how much information you just have to have.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when you're alone doing that. Like, I fear, I could say this on y'all's show, I fear when I have like 30 minutes alone in the beginning of my own show. And I've done 2-hour shows, 3-hour shows alone. Yeah. Yeah, you can see me in there. Kind of like, making sure everything feels and flows right. Like Mike's up there doing a baseball game for 4 hours by himself and talking about things in between pitches that I'm just like, what are you pulling this information from? Yeah. He's like, well, Tina had blank for breakfast today. And I'm just like, Mike, what? That's what her twin sister likes to make her when she goes home to Fort Payne. And that's another strike.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, back to technology. We're sort of back to...
No, that's okay.
My thought is that, and I'm going to spin this now back around on you all. Do you all, the social media aspect of this, let's say that I throw you back. Oh, this is Bruce's social media guy?
Bruce is not going to... Bruce is not going to answer this.
Go ahead. Bruce, do you do social media?
No.
At all?
He just gave up Yik Yak.
What? I don't even know what Yik Yak is.
Hashtags are for old people.
Oh, this show's off the chain already.
It is. I was going to throw it back to social media. You really don't do any social media?
No, I don't. The only thing I have is, I guess, a Google Plus, and that's because you kind of have to have one, but there's very limited information on me.
Huh. You don't like the information part of this?
A lot of it's just I don't feel a need to socialize that way. Also, I use a lot of that whenever I want to find stuff out about people. So, like, say if I'll give an example. We had somebody contact the university because they thought somebody in an online game was cheating, and they were like, I traced it back to the guy's a student on your campus. So just based off of an email he sent me with his name, I was able to dox him and find exactly where he lived, his parents' name, their income, how old he was. I mean, this was a high school kid that had no clue really what was going on. And I was just able, I could have knocked on the guy's door if I wanted to. So, it's just one of those things, like, you really need to know how much information about you is on the net and how that can be used against you.
Well, that's the end of this segment tonight, guys.
Yeah.
I'm canceling all my social media accounts.
Bruce has told everything. He told the whole kit caboodle. He gave it away.
Well, and so much of it, too, is, like you said with LeBron, it was wishy-washy because, he didn't know what I can say, what I can't say, and it's out there forever. And we may talk later tonight. There's actually, because of all the surveillance that's going on, people are kind of they're not being vocal. The dissonance is at an all-time low. And, that's, to me, how we get better things, because out of chaos comes creation. So, you got to have some dissonance and some upset to be able to make things better.
No, yeah, I completely agree with you. Somebody's campaign slogan should be "Out of chaos comes creation." Yeah, I'm just pitching that. I don't know who, but
Bruce
Those
for,
guys.
Bruce for president.
Yes. Antivirus for president. Yes. Yeah. Well, man, we really appreciate you coming on.
definitely.
Very
Thank you
much.
all for having
you so
me.
much.
And right before we go, I got a couple things. One, I want you to talk real quick about your show. I want you to how did you get started?
Okay.
Okay, and sort of tell us just a little bit about it.
So I was doing a show here by myself. Thanks. Were you just waiting on me to grab that? I was doing a show here by myself for about probably a year, maybe a year and a half, and it was fun and it was good. But it was a lot of me, and it was good interviews and good content. Gosh, I'm not going to give you too much into that.
That's
but
okay.
Yeah, if I'm being self-aware, like I find myself, it's really hard for me to be funny by myself, or just do a lot of things sort of on your own. It's just easier in a group setting. So I went to Billy, who was a program director at the time. He loved sports. I love sports. I thought, maybe we could make this kind of work. He didn't have a show at that point. So then me and Billy got together. And then Billy knew Q and a couple other guys here who were doing a show. And he thought, well, your and Q dynamic works well. So, we'll put you all together. And so then we did the worst decision of our lives, which was we let the listeners decide our names. We're like, forget it. You know what? We don't have a name. We'll just let listeners decide. And so jokingly, a friend of mine says, 3 guys talking sports. And so then we get real answers like the press box, this and this and that, this and this and that. And so because it's social media and because it's fun and it's all funny, everybody's like, you're not going to name it 3 guys talking sports. Like that's way too direct to the point. Like there's no way y'all gonna name it that. So then it lights up and everybody's like, we love it. 3 guys talking sports. Run with it.
It's great.
So yes,
great.
3 guys talking sports became us, and we've actually sort of adopted the name, and it's been kind of funny for us. So we've been doing this for about the last 8 or 9 months. Normally focusing on national sports stories. We kind of leave the sports stories here to be covered by the great journalists that are here. That almost implies that we're journalists. We're not broadcasters here only. So then we sort of came together and formed that, and it's been a lot of fun.
So you're still a student, I guess.
No, I'm graduated.
You
Yeah.
graduated.
Yes.
Okay.
So I've graduated from this great university, working marketing for Chick-fil-A. Gave out way too much information.
out there.
Yeah, I know, right? It's gone. Oh no.
Okay.
But yeah,
Well, great.
that's us.
All right. Well, we better cut to break. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you
all
so
for having
much.
me on,
Yeah.
And know that I love the show. I joke that I don't know the words that y'all are saying. I really don't sometimes, especially when you go into lots of things. I went into Google, something about Google the other day, and y'all use multiple words. And I was like, I don't even know what they're saying, but I'll read a technology book and try to catch up on you all. But yeah, it's always funny and it's always informative as well. So
We
I
appreciate
you.
we appreciate the banter back and forth. So.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Anyway.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Well, we thank you, man. Take care. I enjoyed it.
You too.
Okay. We'll be right back here on Hey Techies Show.
Don't go anywhere. There's more in the queue lined up just for you.
Stress of Jacksonville has been serving the Jacksonville community for over a decade. They are located at 500 Forney Avenue, right next to the cockpit. Strutt serves wings, beer, and more. Their business hours are Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. To place a to-go order, please call 256-782-0106. For more information, go to struttswings.com.
Looking to cure that sweet tooth of yours? Mad Hatter Cupcake Shop is now proudly serving the Jacksonville area at their new location at 16 Public Square on the Square. Mad Hatter is open Tuesday through Saturday from 11 to 9 p.m. and they are closed on Sunday and Monday. For additional information, be sure to check out their Facebook page, www.facebook.com/Mad Hat Cupcakes, and their website, www.madhatcakes.com.
Red Threads Apparel carries a wide selection of t-shirt designs for every school function, work party, and much more. They also offer custom layouts for monogrammed attire. Red Threads Apparel is located at 16 Square Unit 8 in downtown Jacksonville on the Square. Their business hours are Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. For more information on Red Threads powered by O-Brand, visit their Facebook page at O-Brand Marketing or call 256-770-9880. Cindy's Photography and Fine Arts is available for all your photography needs. She covers weddings, senior portraits, and much more. Cindy is a proud alumnus of Jacksonville State University and is licensed and insured for over 35 years. Cindy's Photography is located at 1765 Broadwell Mill Road in Jacksonville, Alabama. To book a session or for more information, call 256-435-4752.
Welcome back to the Hey Techies Show.
Where it's ladies' night.
Apparently. So glad you could stay with us. This is going to be a short segment.
It is?
Because last one was a long segment.
Oh, that's fun. We can go however long we want.
I know, but I like sort of. But I wanted to do it correctly. I wanted to cut when we were going to let him go instead of just saying, "Hey, get out the door." That was all. But that was really good. Yeah. I can hear better. That channel I was in, whatever connection I was in, it was. I don't know if it wasn't connected right, but it's great now. Thank you. I knew it was something with my connection because I just could not hear. So anyway. Well, look, so glad to have you in. Our phone number is 256-782-5600. And we will be so glad to take your call. And we do thank Daniel for sitting in with us this evening. And it was very kind.
And I'll try to keep the technical vocabulary to a minimum.
I don't know what he was talking about that we were
I don't know.
The only thing I can think is...
I was listening to the station on the way in.
I was trying
well, y'all were out here, but I hadn't got here yet. And he was saying, I was like, what did we talk about that was that? Like,
the only thing I can think is the Go with the AI, artificial intelligence.
That was. Hey, speaking of that, there's an update that
guy won one.
Yeah, but the computer won, didn't it?
Yeah,
didn't win the whole thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he'd already won the whole thing, but they were just kind of.
Well, that's a good point.
Well, we're gonna let.
So they went through the full 5 games.
Full 5, yeah. So that's but what's interesting to think is that humans created that.
Well, that's true. Oh, and speaking of that, and I think there is a story that I might have stuck in here, but did you see where Facebook was trying to beat Google to that, and they didn't do it? And
no,
there was a big
I did not know that.
Yeah, there was a big back and forth about that. They were trying to get their AI to do the same thing, and
why don't they make the AIs face each other?
I don't know. That's a good question. But
I mean, nobody would watch. That's kind of like turning on your console and saying computer versus computer. Go. I mean, everybody always pays attention to, what Madden says, who's going to win the Super Bowl.
Sure they do.
So no, I mean everybody every year they're like, how close is that? Who's the projected winner?
I don't know.
So I mean, this would be like who would be the projected winner against Google and Facebook on Go. So
yeah, there you go. There's an idea.
You heard it here first.
That's
folks.
right. So Facebook, Google, go at it.
So if you want, I'll totally take ownership of that, claiming it copyright there. So, sorry, Google. if you want the rights to that, our Facebook, you're going to have to pony up the cash. Which, since this is a good segue, ponying up cash, Google is offering $100,000. That's $100,000.
Oh, boy.
If you can hack a Chromebook in guest mode.
Huh.
They I forget, maybe it was like a year that they've had a $50,000 reward.
Yep.
And nobody has come forward saying that they can do it. But basically be able to hack it, then restart the machine and all that stuff still be there. So it's interesting.
Man, I forgot to get Daniel's opinion on that.
About what?
Well, Guru had brought up
about the Octothorpe.
No, not the Octothorpe. Guru had put a actual story out earlier in the week.
Yeah.
And it's what it is. ESPN and BMI and a few of the others. They're back and forth on lawsuits.
That's right. I forgot.
They're back and forth on lawsuits because what's going on is something that we've talked about before in a way.
Yeah.
When it comes to who has the rights to songs and who gets paid the royalties, and there's a big it's a big confusing thing.
Yeah.
A lot of times because I don't know all about it and admit that, but some of it has to do with what they call mechanical rights, and I can't break all it down. I apologize, but if you have the mechanical
The
right,
Hey Techies Law Review.
yeah. Well, no, seriously, if you have the mechanical rights to a song, then you can almost do everything with it. That company, you've paid them to let you use that song in whatever way you feel. So if that's a performance or whatever, okay.
Yeah.
Well, what's going on? The ESPN pays a blanket amount.
Sure.
There's a percentage that they pay so that they can use music.
Yeah.
But what BMI is saying is, yeah, but you're catching ambient music from the stadium. Your microphones are catching, and we want the cha-ching for that because the stadium is playing something,
Gotcha.
and you're not paying for that.
Oh, but I mean, come on.
That's what I said.
It's not even long enough to warrant being paid.
I can't believe that they're even. I mean, I can believe that they're trying to get the money, but why do this? I mean, you're just going to piss people off. They're suing.
Please,
for,
stockholders. That's all it's for.
They're just well, maybe so, but they're asking ESPN to pay a $15 million more annually to license ambient stadium music.
No. I would say this, whatever is...
I meant tick people
whatever sounds that are... okay, so if the stadium has the right to play that song, I would say any sound that comes out of the stadium is then owned by the venue.
Yeah, but
here's the thing. So let's just say ESPN says no, we're not paying it.
Which
Well,
they
they'll
have.
just okay.
They did?
Yeah.
But
oh man,
what they'll do is they're going to just turn around and get it from the stadium. It's going to make everything else go up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
well, you know what?
They're bound and determined to get more money out of folks.
They have basically said they're not going to agree to it and they're going to fight it. But I'm guessing that there'll be something.
So I'll say this: ESPN is a Disney. Part of the Disney.
Yeah, that's funny too in a way. Yeah.
So
boycott Disney.
No.
Boycott Disney. Are you not paying attention with all the H-1B stuff that's going on? That they're doing?
If you want to boycott Disney, that's fine. I know what you're talking about, but I'm talking about this story. I mean, ESPN. How can they guarantee they're not going to pick up ambient noise? I mean, that they would have to have no microphones. Well, all you would hear.
You'd hear
the
the
commentators maybe
Yeah.
if they did not have open windows that they were being a part of the game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just find this fascinating.
I would laugh at them and say, no.
I'd say nice try.
Yeah, nice try.
Well, the reason I find this fascinating is that that basically what they're saying is, hey, you're picking this up, somebody else is playing it. You didn't
Then go after the person that's playing.
Yeah, you didn't pay for them to play it, but you're going to pay the change because they played it. And your microphone, you bought the mic. It's like you bought the mics, you turned them on, you pay for what. It'd be like somebody comes by and sings a song, all the words by their mic. I mean, that's not going to happen, and they don't turn it off quick enough.
Yeah,
I don't know. Anyway, oh well.
It's malarkey.
Yeah, I just find it
bunch of malarkey.
I find it fascinating. And if you want to call 256-782-5600 and get us off these stories that you might feel are not tech related, which is fine. I understand.
Or if you've got an opinion.
Or if you got an opinion on it, we'll take that.
Lord knows.
Or we can help you with your tech problem, which is really what we want to do anyway. So
that's what we're here for.
That's right. We try to be. So I know I'm not the only one that brought stories to this ball game here. Surely y'all have. I know Guru has something that he had come up that he had seen. Something about a little blue guy who sings a song for Apple.
Yeah, there's a new there's
Blue's
new
Clues.
No, there's a new Apple ad for the iPhone 6s.
Yeah,
and it's starring the one and only Cookie Monster.
Oh, how about that?
So
I just guessed.
Sure you did.
I really did.
So are we gonna play the audio from this?
Sure, why not?
We'll have to kind of commentate over it because you really have to watch the video to appreciate it. We'll put the link in the show notes so you can watch the video.
I haven't seen.
I have not seen or heard this.
Yeah,
you haven't seen it either.
I haven't seen the video.
Nope.
I listened to only the audio.
Okay. Well, I'll try to remember best I can.
I have done neither.
All right.
But this is not an ad. This is an ad that Apple's doing.
Not an endorsement.
So-
No.
Hey Siri, set timer for 14 minutes.
Okay, 14
Baking some
minutes and
cookies.
counting.
Yeah, he's
Wait
put
till
cookies in the
cookies.
oven, and he's told Siri, "Hey,
Hey
just
Siri, play me waiting playlist.
This will be a long commercial.
This is a long commercial.
Yeah, it'd have to be.
It's a
14 minutes.
It's a 1 minute commercial."
I want to know how it ends.
So Cookie Monster's just kind of hanging out, and he's sitting there like being very impatient, waiting for
Yeah,
his cookies. He's-
I'll tell you this: 14 minutes is too long. You put them in 12. You turn the oven off.
Meat so hungry for
Leave them in there
cookies.
another minute. Take it out. Let it sit.
Is that right?
Oh yeah, man, perfect cookies. That's my wife. She burns everything in the
All right,
oven. I'm the owner of the oven.
Hey Siri, check the timer.
Here's the timer.
It's like a minute's past.
13 minutes left.
So he's banging his head on the counter now.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
like I said, watch the video to really appreciate
Yeah.
it. But
It'll be in the show notes.
that's why this
Which I won't
episode is
say.
brought to you by the number 6 and the letter S. One of my Facebook friends put that as like the caption to this video, and I said
Oh.
that's perfect. We got to use that this week. So
Well, and I did. I let Guru use it. so.
yes.
He made me say it on the air. So
Yeah, so if you don't like that, that's Michael at HeyTechiesShow.com.
okay.
Plus, it also depends on the
kidding.
altitude that you're cooking the cookies
Right.
at.
Speaking
But if you're in
of
this area-
Apple, did you see where?
Hey
And
Techie's Cooking
I
Show.
do not agree with this particular headline.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about the Wise. The Wise, blast Apple, according to this headline, over the Apple Watch in AMA.
Oh, on his Reddit AMA?
Yeah,
That was yesterday, wasn't it?
I didn't get to see it,
I did.
but apparently it was part of the Q&A session.
yeah.
And apparently he said 20 watches from 500 to 1100. The bands, the only difference, this isn't the company that Apple was originally, or the company that really changed the world a lot. So it might be moving, but you've got to follow, you've got to follow the paths where the markets are. That's interesting too. That was something that I've heard somebody talk about before.
Yeah.
About the fact that the watches, there's no difference in the mechanics of the watch. They all have the same everything.
Right.
The cheapest one can do the exact same.
Yeah,
has
in terms
the same
of-
processor.
right.
Has same everything.
Yeah, the only difference is the outside in terms of the
maybe-
finish,
maybe-
and like the more expensive ones have a better, I guess, glass than the Sport.
Maybe.
But, yeah,
Because
you're-
watches are also seen as pieces of art. They're trying to make a statement.
Well,
Mm.
you want to know? You want
We're
to know?
all the same on the inside.
Here's my take on
Doesn't
this.
matter, rich or poor.
But he's
white or black.
go ahead
rose
with your
gold
go ahead
or-
with your take on that.
Here's my take on it. I own an Apple Watch. I did not pay full price for it. I will say that first because I was not going to pay $400 for a watch.
You didn't pay anything.
No, I paid some money for it.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Shipping?
No.
Okay.
I thought you won it.
Well, I had to upgrade it
He
to the larger
upgraded it,
size,
okay.
and I bought Apple Care for
So,
it. So
yeah.
yeah, I'm in
That's,
it a little
that's
bit.
understandable.
But here's the thing: Apple saw a market where they could make more money. That's
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And the thing is, they saw where people will buy these iPads and these iPhones, and they said, well, the smartwatches, they've been developing this for years, but I think other companies were developing them for years as well. It's just
yeah.
other companies beat them to the marketplace. But I think a lot of tech companies saw it coming, but
Yeah.
Apple said we're going to make it a high-end product. Like everything else they make, it's very well built.
Yeah.
But with that comes a price, a premium
Yeah.
price, just like all the other devices come with a premium price.
Yeah.
But
And I
it's-
mean, they
but
have entry level stuff.
But I will say $400 for a entry level watch is way too much. But the thing is,
Yeah.
people will buy it.
Yeah.
People will buy it,
Oh yeah.
and this is a money grab. I hate to say that.
I really don't.
Well,
I,
isn't anything in business a money grab?
yeah, I have a problem with this headline though. I think some of it's silly. He's not really bashing them. He's just giving his opinion
Yeah.
on how he feels. He's not like, oh, that watch is crap.
Well,
you
here's the
shouldn't
thing.
buy one. I
Here's
mean,
the thing.
that's blasting them.
Here's the thing with Waz. I got to hear Waz speak in person last April at an
Right.
event I went to in
Yeah.
New Orleans, and
Nowlands.
yeah, at a higher education conference, and he was the mystery speaker. And he got up there. It was the CEO of a company the company that was hosting
Yeah.
the conference, and him up on stage, and they were talking about higher education and all the changes with technology and stuff. And
Yeah.
but Wise, what I'm getting to is Wise went off on big time tangents.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't. It wouldn't surprise me if this quote came from one of those where he's kind of got off on a tangent. That's just how Wise is.
Yeah.
You know, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you know, people in the press just sit there like with the current presidential election. They take one little sentence and they sit there and blow it out of proportion.
Well, that's
so. I don't think Wise is actually bashing. This is his. I believe it's his words, but you know, he's just making a statement. I mean, he's kind of somewhat removed from the day-to-day operation of the company, so he feels like he can say his opinion. But I do say that these are overpriced.
Oh yeah.
If I hadn't got it,
well,
I wasn't gonna buy one at full price.
Mine I got for $150. If it was any more expensive,
now, I would pay that for it.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not going to pay full price for what I'm wearing. Absolutely not.
Yeah,
I think $150 was fair.
Well, stick with us.
Hey, Techies Show.
We'll be right back.
Tech questions? We have answers. Give us a call, 256-782-5600.
Gamecock Outfitters, located on the square at 109 Ladica Street in Jacksonville, provides customers with outdoor apparel and gear. Gamecock Outfitters is able to help you find exactly what you need for every outdoor adventure. Gamecock Outfitters is open Tuesday through Friday from 10 o'clock to 5:30 and Saturday from 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock. For additional information, contact them at 256-435-2008 or check out their website at GadsdenOutfitters.com.
Jacksonville Bookstore offers supplies for school all throughout the year. From books to binders, pencils to Scantrons, Jacksonville Bookstore has it all. They are open Monday through Saturday with convenient hours and location on 302 Mountain Street Northwest in Jacksonville. To find out more, like them on Facebook or call 256-435-7407. Jacksonville Bookstore, a proud patron of WLJS.
Jacksonville Tan is a proud patron of WLJS, serving Jacksonville and surrounding areas since 1987. At their location at 115 Francis Street East, next to Walgreens. Jacksonville Tan knows a thing or two about healthy glow, offering 16 tanning beds and virtually no wait times. A great tan is never out of the question. For more info, call them at 256-435-1770.
This is 91.9 FM, WLJS Jacksonville, your cure for common radio.
Welcome back to the Hey Techies Show. That's one of your songs, Guru.
Yes, it is.
I told you.
I'm just glad we're safe and sound.
Yeah,
that's right.
I can say I've never heard that song. Anyway, that's not saying much. Well, Bruce, you asked about it last week.
What did I ask about?
Where are those self-lacing tennis shoes?
Oh, yeah.
And they have found them.
Sweet.
Nike has said that hopefully by this Christmas, this holiday season, there will be self-lacing tennis shoes called Nike Hyper Adapt.
We'll just call them the power laces like they run Back to the Future.
They're the Hyper Adapt 1.0.
Yes, well, I did.
They only missed it by a year.
1.0.
Well,
yes.
I mean, they technically had a prototype out last year.
I know. I'm just trying to be funny, and it's not working.
Yes, that was funny.
So
I know what you're saying.
So Nike, if you're listening, please send us a review unit.
That's right.
We'll be glad to review them.
Yeah, Bruce wants them.
Sure.
What size you want, Bruce?
Size 12.
He wants
please.
he wants a long,
I don't
really
know.
large
I actually
12.
think actually in Nike they run small, so I may wear a 13.
Oh,
Nike.
he needs a boat shoes. Send
I
him
wear
boat.
size 12 and everything
Send
else.
him boat
Just send
shoes,
me a
please.
12.
Yeah,
Make
but
that too.
Hey, do a 12 and a half.
No, a 12.
A 12. Okay. Apparently, when users step into the shoe, their heel will hit a sensor.
Yep.
Then the athlete, now I don't know why they use that
Well,
term,
I'll tell you in a minute.
can press two buttons on the side that adjust the grip. So
Yep.
what's the point of using the athlete term? I
Well,
mean, can anybody wear them? Just
Yes,
athletes?
yes, but there's speculation that they will, which to me makes no sense. It's horrible speculation that they will start to introduce this into other lines. So stuff like their running shoes, things that it would be beneficial to not have laces.
Okay.
And to me, you're adding extra weight. I wonder how much extra weight that puts in the shoe. Because kind of the idea especially with sprinting shoes, that they're as light as possible, but also give you good traction. So I don't know. I wouldn't mind somebody giving me a pair, but I would definitely be scared to step on anything sharp and it puncture the battery, and then there goes my foot.
No kidding.
Because I'm sure they're using lithium-ion batteries.
Of course.
Yeah.
So
My feet are on fire. That way, it gets you running quick.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, I'm kind of curious. Are we going to kind of say the same thing?
Did they say a price? How much these are supposed to be?
No, they have not set a price.
There's no price.
I'm sure they will be $500.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I told my wife. I said, I bet they're $500.
And there's some folks that will buy them.
Oh, absolutely.
Not
because
me.
how much are Jordans? Like $250?
I don't know.
I'd have.
So I mean,
no
you're adding. This is unique. It's new. It's maybe going to be hip and cool. I don't know.
It's just like any technology. If you want to be a early adopter, and
you're going to pay more.
Exactly.
But I mean, I really don't see them putting this in more than just a few lines of shoes. I don't think this is going to.
Yeah, it's going
I
to be
don't
one
think
of
it's
those.
going to propagate through the whole.
It's going to be the Apple Watch of the shoe world.
Sure. I mean, if you don't want to lace your shoes, just buy the shoestrings like I got.
Yeah, how much those cost?
I can't believe this. We are a tech show. We're on shoestrings.
Well, I mean,
so those come with the shoes, or they?
I actually bought these aftermarket.
So how much do they run?
I think I bought like 5 pairs for like less than $10.
Wow.
On Amazon.
That's my kind of price there.
Yeah. Got them in 2 days.
Hey,
free shipping.
Amazon Prime, baby.
And I mean, you can probably get them cheaper than that. And there's nothing to it. I mean, it's just elastic, and you can tighten them up. I like them, and I can slip them on and off easily. So just like I just did.
If you're watching the video, yeah.
But
the Hey Shoe Show.
The Hey.
Well, since we've had fun,
we always have
talking
fun.
Talking about lighthearted subjects.
Yeah.
Did you see where AT&T will not face class action for throttling customers with unlimited data?
Are you serious?
Yes, I did see that. I thought we talked about that last week. No, I didn't bring it on because it ticked me off.
Oh well, then
because
this says March 11th. When was our show? Was last week was 10th. So I guess it was just the day after.
So
but I mean, they could have just been late on the story. I'm sure you have had somewhere that had it already.
Yeah, I talked to somebody.
That's what I figured.
So the thing was that because there's arbitration agreements in your contracts, which is
right.
I know my main man Mike is listening, and he's shaking his hand with me.
That's right.
There should be no such thing as arbitration. Period. I mean.
Well, I agree with you. I mean, there's times where I think that would help, but there's times where companies just make stupid decisions.
I would take a different approach if they say, okay, that's there's arbitration, you can't bring lawsuits against us. So fine, I'm filing criminal charges against you because you stole from me.
Yeah, need a lawyer in here.
No, that's okay. We play one on the radio, so why do that?
Exactly.
We have much more fun just doing it this way.
But I'm just not a fan of phone companies.
It's like, my name's Mike Ross. This spoiler alert. This season I go to jail.
What was that one? Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. Have you ever heard of that law firm?
Oh yeah.
Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe.
Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe.
Yeah.
So it says in here from 2011 to 2015, they allegedly throttled more than 3.5 million customers who exceeded monthly allotments of 3 gigs or 5 gigs. That's a lot of folks.
And think of how
many months,
yeah,
potentially, if you start taking, not say all 3.5 million got throttled every month, but just think of how much that was an impact.
Well, let's say it is 3.5 million. I would bring 3.5 million criminal cases against them.
But for 4 years too. And you think about it, they do it every month. Like once you hit that threshold, then they throttle you for the rest of the month.
So I'm just saying, maybe we need to take a different approach on this.
Maybe.
Put them in jail. Corporations are people too. Let Texas execute them.
Good grief. I think you're going too far there. Come on.
Well,
now.
it's, it's that saying. I believe corporations are people in Texas.
Yeah, I know I know what you're saying, but we
Yeah.
can't execute people.
A company.
Well, no.
But this all goes back. They're using the term that AT&T is now classified as a common carrier. You know, that legislation that passed about internet being a utility.
Yeah.
So it's just that's what happens when they start passing stuff and don't understand the implications of it.
Or when they use the word unlimited and don't understand the word unlimited.
Yeah, go look it up in the dictionary.
Oh man.
Well, we'd love to hear from you. 256-782-5600, and you could be on the Hey Techies Show. And but our lines seem to be dead tonight, so somebody's got to light it up. Ask us a question.
Hey, spring break starts after tomorrow afternoon.
Well, that's true.
Folks are
True.
pulling out of town.
Oh, I know that. Yeah, I understand that.
I'd be pulling out of town right now if I could.
Well, what are you waiting on?
Yeah,
Well,
doors right there.
there's a technology fair tomorrow
Yes, there
at
is.
JSU, and I'm going to be a judge. And no matter what I've said in the past, I do this every year for the kids.
Yes, I will agree with that. And this year, I'm unable to judge due to a prior commitment, but it's amazing to see these kids what they come up
Oh,
with.
yeah. It's
You've got some
impressive.
as young as 4th grade doing projects and very technical things. I mean,
Yeah.
usually I get stuck with I usually end up judging like programming projects,
Yeah.
and some of the stuff they do is pretty exceptional considering that they're elementary school. I mean, like
Yeah.
I had no idea. I mean, granted, I came from a younger generation, but that stuff existed when I was at that age.
Yeah.
But I didn't have no clue of that. I mean, and I love the fact that these kids are getting exposed to stuff early on.
And I know some of them are listening, so if you think I might be judging your event tomorrow, bribes can be sent to.
Oh no,
No.
Bruce at Hey Techies Show.
no. Oh
No.
my goodness.
Except Google Wallet.
Well, let me tease
good.
something here. Here's something.
By all means.
Oh, everybody
Since
knows
we're
I'm
on
joking.
the
Everybody knows I'm
technology
joking.
kind of fair and what kids are doing with technology in schools, we're working on an interview possibly coming up with the Piedmont High School. We covered a story a couple weeks ago about they're about to implement a program where all high school students grades 9 through 12, I believe, are going to have to take a computer science class as part of like the requirement to graduate.
Mm-hmm.
So regardless of what diploma track you're on, every student, like they have to have a history and math and stuff, they'll have to have a computer science class. And we're working on trying to secure an interview with at least the teacher that's going to be teaching those classes and possibly the superintendent of the Piedmont school system. That's not confirmed. So I don't know if I should even share it on the air, but we're working on that because I think it's a great.
Heard it here first. It's confirmed.
It's not confirmed.
At some point or another.
It's not confirmed. I need to
So,
follow up.
actually,
but it's a great thing they're doing.
It's interesting you bring that up because I want to say Tom wrote a piece today about teaching. All these educators are thinking, oh, we got to teach programming, we got to teach programming, we got to teach programming. But actually, they're saying really we need to be teaching not just that, but computational thinking.
Right.
So not just somebody.
It goes back to the whole
can
lack
spit
of
out code. Yeah, I mean,
the whole lack of people going into STEM related.
Yeah.
Career fields.
Well, it creates problem-solving abilities.
You're absolutely right. But that whole science, technology, engineering, and
Yeah.
math is very underserved. And we've covered that on the show before, news that's come out about the lack thereof, and especially the females in that field. There's a big need for that. And so I think it's great that they're getting exposed to this in high school. And they'll learn, well, I love this, and
Yeah.
I want to pursue this in college, or
I appreciate this.
I appreciate this, and I'm very thankful for the folks that do this.
Yes.
And let me just get my grades so I can do something else, and that's fine. There's
Yeah.
all different kinds of folks.
Yes.
But I think everybody should be exposed. It's just like when I came through JSU as an undergrad, you had to take a fine arts elective to graduate. So I took music appreciation. Even though I was a computer science student, I came in declared as a computer science student.
Yeah.
But everybody has to have a fine arts elective, whether it's music appreciation or
I
like
took
art.
drama.
There's drama. There's art. There's several different courses that satisfy the requirement. I took the music appreciation, and I did gain an appreciation for some fine arts, and I think that kind of helps create a more well-rounded student.
Yeah.
And this is part of that, I think, in high school because it's more and more important. And Michael's speechless.
Oh,
he's reading.
I'm listening, and I'm listening to both of you.
And I'm trying to kill another 60 seconds, and I'm running out of stuff to say. So
No,
Man,
no. And I want to add to this: White Plains Robotics team is
Yes.
going to nationals.
Wow.
Yes.
So if you're listening, we want to interview you. So give us a call.
Yeah, we're going to Kentucky.
How about that?
That is awesome.
Yeah. I
And
think
which
it's in
is
the
this,
VEX.
VEX, okay. Because I was going to say, they didn't do the best.
No.
At the best.
Yeah. Talking to Adam Gooseby, some schools do both, and some schools only do one or the other. So
Yeah.
But yeah, that's awesome. Way to go.
VEX
Go represent.
VEX is a good program. It's just different.
Yeah.
I don't know as much about it. Me and my wife were talking
Yeah,
about
we
today.
need to get somebody that does VEX on the show to talk about
I have
that.
tried to get a particular person, but I guess they're too busy to come on the show.
Yeah.
I mean, we got turned down by the JSU robotics team.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we did. They turned our nose up at our interview.
They turned
their nose up at our noses.
We must have asked the wrong person.
Yeah, you didn't.
No,
ask the
I
right
don't
person.
think so.
I'll go over there and tell them.
I don't
be on
think
the show.
so. They turned up their nose at the Hey Techies Show.
Well, stay with us for hour number dose.
Be right back.
Hey Techies Show.
You've listened this long, so stick around for our dose.
Live from Washington, I'm Lori London. President Obama's Supreme Court nominee made a courtesy call to the U.S. Senate today, but steered clear of Republican leader Mitch McConnell, who has vowed not to consider any Obama nominee. But President Obama says he picked Merrick Garland in part because of the favorable reviews he got from Republican senators. The president's comments come in an exclusive interview with NPR's Nina Totenberg.
While the president lauded Garland as one of the best judges, not just in the country, but in a generation, he acknowledged that the appeals court judge had been passed over to fill 2 previous Supreme Court vacancies that occurred in the first Obama term. But in what Obama called these particularly vitriolic times, he sought a consensus-building judge who had support from Republicans.
My goal was to actually confirm a justice who I thought could do an outstanding job, and Merrick Garland fits that bill.
Nina Totenberg, NPR News, Washington.
Hear more on the Obama interview tomorrow on Morning Edition and online. The Associated Press is declaring that by a razor-thin margin, Hillary Clinton is the winner of Tuesday's Democratic primary in Missouri. Clinton won by just 1,531 votes. The state's delegates are almost evenly split, with Clinton being awarded just 2 more than Bernie Sanders. U.S. and South Korean officials say North Korea has fired a ballistic missile off its east coast. They say it flew about 500 miles before crashing. The launch comes days after North Korean leader Kim Jong-un ordered tests of a nuclear warhead and ballistic missiles capable of carrying warheads. The State Department is closely monitoring the situation and urging the North to fulfill its international commitments and obligations. A federal terrorism task force has determined that the student who carried out a knife attack at a Central California university last year was in fact a self-radicalized Muslim. From Valley Public Radio in Fresno, Jeffrey Hess has more.
According to the FBI, 18-year-old Faisal Muhammad had visited pro-ISIS websites and drew inspiration from extremist propaganda in the weeks leading up to the attack. Based on that and the contents of his bag, which included a handwritten attack plan and a photocopy of an Islamic State flag, the FBI believes Muhammad had become a self-radicalized Muslim extremist. He stabbed 4 people on the UC campus in Merced, California in November. He was later shot and killed by campus police. In a statement, the FBI says there is no evidence that Muhammad had any actual contact with the terrorist group. It also says investigators may never know why the 18-year-old chose to attack his fellow students. For NPR News, I'm Jeffrey Hess in Fresno, California.
On Wall Street, the Dow gained 155 points. This is NPR.
Hey Techies Show!
Technologic.
Use it, break it, fix it, crash it, jam
change it, melt, upgrade it, charge it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, quick erase it, write it, cut it, paste it, save it, load it.
Welcome back into the Hey Techies Show for hour number Dose.
Beat you to it, Bruce.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
That's okay. You're concentrating over there.
Well, we're going to go straight to the phones, and I believe we have Daniel on the line. Daniel, how are you doing tonight? Oh, you didn't send him to the
I thought it did.
to air. Is it air?
Yeah, it is.
Hey, Daniel, how are you doing tonight? Is it on?
Hang on, let me work on this.
Well, anyway, we got a little problem.
So while we're waiting, I guess we can bring up what he wants to talk about.
Yeah.
And that's Oculus Rift?
Yes.
Is that what he said?
He wanted to talk about Oculus Rift.
So when's Oculus Rift supposed to come out? Do you know?
I'm not sure.
Or is it already out for... I mean, I know it was out
well,
for
I mean,
developers.
I've looked at it, but I guess here's the problem.
Yep.
I'm so much not a gamer.
Yeah. That it really's been off your radar.
Yeah, that's true. I've had so much on my radar that unfortunately, but I don't know what he wanted to talk about. Can he call back? Daniel, if you're listening to us, call back. Sorry about that.
Yeah, we're having there's some phone issues, I think.
Oh, okay. Oh, well. Anyway, of course, those of you that are listening, Oculus Rift is a VR headset, and you can use it to view a lot of even movies, but play games. Mostly they're into playing games when you use Oculus Rift. So, Daniel, sorry about that. If you're listening, try to call back.
I'm sorry, Daniel. Something went,
there
he's calling back. Hang on.
We'll try it again. He can tell us what he was wanting to ask about, maybe.
So Oculus that's the one that Facebook owns, right?
Yes, I think that's right.
Okay, yeah, not buying it. I'm just kidding.
All right, he's gonna try it. He's gonna try this one more time. But it
Guru's got this.
Daniel, can you hear us now?
Hello.
Okay, there you are.
Hello, guys.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, Techies friends. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, yes, we can.
Cool.
Yeah, great. So you wanted to talk to us about Oculus?
Yeah, it's like it's come out for a long time. For a long time, it was only out for certain people. You could only get it, and now it's kind of more out there for people to buy. And the VR portion of it is cool, but also the motion part where you can stand in the pod.
Yeah.
The actual Oculus Rift. That's really cool, and there's a lot of videos on YouTube, and you can watch them. And there's like one YouTuber, Markiplier, I think is his name. He uses the full getup sometimes, but he does the the VR. And I was thinking back like to when I was younger, with Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo, even the regular Nintendo, back then, you would love to have a virtual reality thing, and it's surprising to me with the the culture of games, gamers. It seems very odd to me that it's not more out there into the public. I guess I can say. It seems like it's one of those things where maybe the economy is at a certain part where people aren't wanting to, spend a lot of money on something that might, at the end of the day, is sort of, frivolous is the word I think.
Oh yeah, it's very expensive actually.
$600.
Yeah, it's very expensive, and in the games too. A lot of the games with it are being made by independent, indie gamers. A lot of them are like horror, real life RPG type stuff, and I think maybe there's some bigger titles coming to it, but right now, I think you're sort of limited in what you can do.
Only limited by the imagination.
I suppose so. Yeah.
Well, now the Gear VR though.
So that's taken like the Google Cardboard approach.
Yeah, but it's a complete headset that works mainly with Samsung.
Yeah, Samsung
devices.
phones. Yeah.
Right, like you can use the virtual, like you can stand in the little pit, and it runs. It has traction, and it has a bar around you so you don't fall out of it.
Yeah.
And then you have the virtual reality headset that's sort of supposed to surround you, supposed to immerse you in the game.
Yeah.
And then when you're trying to run, not only is your senses, your eyes, your ears, and sort of your peripherals, which are all covered by the virtual reality mask, you're also running physically from the game. So it's almost like you really are, in a different reality. Even though you'll conceptualize it maybe, but I think maybe if they would do more, PR with it maybe, and make it not seem like it's some sort of
novelty
underground thing, where people, only people with a little bit of expendable income can do, and maybe make it more into the public. Because when video games came out, a lot of people wasn't going out to play video games, and then they just sold, and then when I got 15, 16, the gamers became cool kids, and I think maybe it's the evolution of the gaming console, and then this is like the next step, perhaps, if it's done correctly.
Well, what's interesting to me about gaming is that it was really expensive when it first came out, and then it came down. It came way down, and then a particular thing happened. The technology in it jumped so high that they started getting back a premium that they can make on the product and charge for it because it was so amazing. And this is really part of that evolution too, I think.
Yeah.
That this is part of that they've got to get back, whether you agree or disagree, that's not what I'm talking about. They're going to have to get back their developmental cost, that they view it as
right. It's like we were talking about earlier with
R&D.
this being an early adopter, you're going to pay a premium for it.
Well, like if you pre-order the Oculus Rift right now, it's $600. But you still need a machine to run it. I mean, you've got to have a Windows PC that can run that. So, say you've got another, let's say $1,500. I mean, so you're in this for $2,100 to play some games.
That's not counting buying the games either.
Yeah, not counting buying
That's just
the
hardware.
games. And
I believe you have to actually buy the headset separate from the actual traction.
Yes, it looks like to me that all their products are a la carte. I mean, you just buy this, and they even had some hands that some things that go in your hands, controllers that call touch.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, it's
almost like the DLC, like you have nowadays. They come up with a game that's 100% done, but they give you 85%, and then a month later they want to try and charge you $15, and then 3 more months $15 again. No longer is it days where you have complete game and then a true DLC, downloadable content or expansion. Now they're like, we're gonna get the consumer. We're gonna get as much pennies out of you as possible.
And this may be a time where arcades make a comeback.
You have a point there.
Well, I could see it from the standpoint if you go there and you can get VR.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I know that's what you're saying.
Yeah,
I can
VR
understand
arcades.
that, but because that was really part of the problem, you could not get the same graphics at home that you could get or you couldn't get the same experience really that you could at the arcade.
And people get out and socialize.
Right.
So,
well, yes, you're right. I think it could rebuff. It could also bridge gap of console wars. People are like, hey, I want to play Gears of War or Skyrim or Grand Theft Auto on my virtual reality. No longer will Microsoft and PS4 have to fight. They can just give it to Oculus Rift, and then malls. When I was growing up, you have the arcades everywhere, and I can't find an arcade anywhere.
Not a real one.
That could rebirth, like you say, the arcade. People could have a reason.
Well, here's something. I was going to share this tonight as one of our stories. Is Six Flags over Georgia, which for where we're at is just a not quite 2-hour drive.
Hop, skip, and a jump
away.
Hop,
skip, and a jump.
That's what
one of their newer roller coasters, Daredevil Dive, now it's got an option where you can actually use one of these, the Samsung Gear VR that's powered by Oculus.
Yeah.
And actually wear that while you're riding. It's like a whole nother, and it immerses you in this whole totally different environment. We're going to put a link in the show notes to like the information from them. Plus, there's a video that Theme Park Review, which is a site that covers theme parks and newest and greatest and latest. They've got video of it, and you actually see what you would actually see if you're wearing it. Now that is cool. And here's the thing: I thought there was going to be an extra charge, but according to Six Flags Over Georgia's website, there is no extra charge. It is included in the park admission.
Really cool.
That is awesome.
So that's one way. Another way to expose it to people that would otherwise not.
You could even bring Coke cans in exchange for VR time.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
So. I'm sorry, I lost mine on the ride.
The video had like a strap that went under your chin. So so it was.
I didn't get on with the one.
Yeah.
I bet you they're checking out.
Now.
Yeah, right.
Shouldn't have been on that rocket.
Anyway.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, I was going to share that tonight. So this is a good
good
thing you called, because that's something. Yeah, and this is I think a good way. And I didn't realize till I was sitting here reading. I was like, this is included with what you're already paying for to get in the park. Yeah. So I figured they were going to upcharge it like they do everything else.
Oh yeah.
Well,
that's awesome.
Well, I mean, I'll say this and I know I've said this in the past. Like, I cannot wait to play like a horror game on this, because I love being a kid playing. I'd completely turn off all the lights, turn on the surround, make it to where I'm just immersed in the screen, playing these games. And
well, if you go on YouTube, there's one guy who Markiplier. It's Markpilier, and he actually he was able to test Oculus Rift. And there is one game that's about Slender Man, if you're familiar with him.
Yeah.
So it's about Slender Man, and you you go around and
find the pages.
Slender Man will pop up.
Yeah.
And it's really scary. He's a really entertaining. I would look him up. He's really cool.
Yeah, it's the man. I'm telling you, that's gonna add. Woo! It's gonna make the adrenaline, the heartbeat. It's gonna be awesome.
If you're into that.
Yeah, who's not?
I'm just not into gaming. You know that.
Nothing.
Nah, that's okay.
Well, I did. I have a confession to make. I did download a game for my Mac for my upcoming vacation. SimCity.
The Candy Crush.
No, not Candy.
Oh, Daniel, that's hilarious. Daniel, thank you so much.
It's a hardcore game right
It's
there.
a little retro. It's SimCity 4.
What?
I used to love that game as a kid. And you can still get it for Mac OS on the App Store. So.
I love Daniel. Daniel said Candy Crush.
I do not have Candy Crush, folks.
I'll be interested if they make a Silent Hill game for it.
So.
And there's one that was a Japanese game, and you took pictures, and there was I want to say there was twin sisters that were ghosts or something. Is that
you got me?
Ringing bells?
You got me there.
Man, that one was good.
I think it's called Fukushima Horror.
I'm gonna have to look that up. That sounds right.
Fukushima Horror.
Absolutely, that's what it's called.
Fukushima Horror.
Sure.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah, whatever you say, Daniel. I mean, I'm serious. I have no idea.
I don't know, man. I'm just joking.
No, you're probably right.
Bruce, they're trying to look it up right now.
I don't think
Fukushima Horror does sound like a good name for the game.
Sure. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, sure. I guess. I don't know. All right. You have a good night, Daniel. We'll talk to you later, buddy. Thank you so much for the call.
Thanks for taking the call. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Good night. Good day.
hard game. I gotta look this up. Hard game. Where?
Okay, Bruce.
If anybody remembers the name of that, call in.
Yeah, well, sure.
I'll have it after the break.
I don't know.
It may have been for PS2. I don't know. Fatal Frame. That was it. Fatal Frame.
Don't have a kernel panic. Hey Techies will be right back.
Jacksonville Tan is a proud patron of WLJS, serving Jacksonville and surrounding areas since 1987. At their location at 115 Francis Street East, next to Walgreens. Jacksonville Tan knows a thing or two about healthy glow, offering 16 tanning beds and virtually no wait times. A great tan is never out of the question. For more info, call them at 256-435-1770.
Cindy's Photography and Fine Arts is available for all your photography needs. She covers weddings, senior portraits, and much more. Cindy is a proud alumnus of Jacksonville State University and is licensed and insured for over 35 years. Sydney's Photography is located at 1765 Broadwell Mill Road in Jacksonville, Alabama. To book a session or for more information, call 256-435-4752.
Jacksonville Bookstore offers supplies for school all throughout the year. From books to binders, pencils to scantrons, Jacksonville Bookstore has it all. They are open Monday through Saturday with convenient hours and location on 302 Mountain Street Northwest in Jacksonville. To find out more, like them on Facebook or call 256-435-7407. Jacksonville Bookstore, a proud patron of WLJS.
Struts of Jacksonville has been serving the Jacksonville community for over a decade. They are located at 500 Forney Avenue, right next to the cockpit. Struts serves wings, beer, and more. Their business hours are Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. To place a to-go order, please call 256-782-0106. For more information, go to strutswings.com.
This is something for Bruce.
Yeah, this is a story of famous dog.
All right. Welcome back to the Hey Techies Show.
Some George Clinton right there.
Okay, is that right?
And the Parliament Funkadelics.
There we go.
So, sorry to Daniel. I really wasn't paying attention when he was saying the Fukushima horror. I was too busy searching for. I was like, yeah, that sounds right. But Fatal Frame was the name of the game, and apparently there's been quite a few that have come out since then.
So glad we solved that.
Yeah, and it looks like the reviews went down as they released more games. So it was different when it first came out. So if we have any Fatal Frame fans, hit Guru up at Guru Hey Techies Show.
No, how about Bruce at HeyTechiesShow.com? He's a gaming expert.
Yeah, whatever.
No kidding.
Well, I mean, I didn't realize they had as many as they did. They got a lot to catch up on.
Yeah,
but it's time for some rumors.
Guru picked all these.
And I picked them like a few hours ago. Yeah. I was like, this week has just been crazy for me. And
I guess most tech shows would try to cover all the rumors that supposedly could possibly be next week in the Apple release. And I know we did a little bit of that last week.
We have beat a dead horse with that stuff. So, folks, just go back to last week's show, listen to it, see the links we put out there.
That poor horse.
I know. So, and here's what's sad is I'm going to be where I cannot watch the Apple event live, and that really disappoints me.
Oh.
Michael, it's your job to Periscope and live stream and cover it for our audience.
Right, sure.
The producer is giving you a direct order.
Sure, right. I plan on watching if I can.
So I'll have to catch it later. Unfortunately, I'm gonna be off the grid for a couple of days.
Oh, it's terrible.
So, but anyway, we're going to cover some different rumors, I think, tonight because we'll see what Apple does next week because they gonna do what they're gonna do anyway. So my first one here is Apple iPhone 7 Plus. There's some actual pictures been leaked, rumored picture. Or I guess the pictures are leaked. So I guess this is the rumored device. It's going to have. There's pictures showing it with a dual lens camera and a smart connector, which that's new.
Yeah.
The dual lens camera rumor's been out for a while, but at the bottom of this picture, we'll put the link in the show notes, but at the bottom of this picture, the back side of the iPhone, on the back face, there's like the three little dots. That's the smart connector that's on the iPad Pro. So apparently, if this
what does that do?
On the iPad Pro, you can hook on a keyboard to that smart connector, like a magnetic type connector.
Oh.
Think of the Surface Pro.
Gotcha.
But a lot cooler.
Whatever.
I'm sorry.
A flimsy keyboard.
I apologize, Andrew, for that. I know he's our Microsoft fan, but I don't know what else you can do with the smart connector. That may be the only accessory right now. It's one of those Apple proprietary connectors.
Of course.
Awesome.
So
another one.
anyway, so there's pictures leaked of that. So that's one thing. Here's another thing. There's this. I missed this rumor, but there's apparently a rumor about iPhone 7 Plus was going to have rumored to have up to 256 gigabyte storage option, and this story is
SanDisk.
SanDisk apparently has gotten that NAND chip, the flash memory chip, down
Yep.
small enough for
Yep.
256 to where it can actually fit inside a phone.
And you know
of
what
the size of the
you
iPhone.
know what the price point is going to be on something from Apple for
$1 million.
It'll be absolutely
It'll be
outrageous.
a
It'll be
$1,200
over-
phone.
Yeah, at least.
Well, here's the thing. There's rumor in here about the different
rose
size
gold.
options. Of course, if
Yeah.
they do a 256, that'd be probably the high end, obviously.
Yeah.
And what Apple's done in the past is
Drop the lowest one.
yeah, and this article is pointing to possibly a 32 gig option, a 128 option, and a 256 option. And I think it used to be 32, 64, 128.
Yeah.
I believe, or no,
16,
16, 32, and 128. I believe.
What? No.
No.
There's always been
No.
a 64.
Okay, it was 30. It was 16, 64, and 128. Excuse me, but it was like I don't follow Apple. It was like $100 difference. So like from the base price to the highest storage, you pay $200 more.
Yeah.
So they may keep that same thing, or they may do whatever they want. But
Going with the latter.
for me, I think 32 is plenty. But we'll see. So that's another thing.
And then, of course, the big news that you were telling us about. Apple's working to create their own cloud storage.
Yeah, and I've got another story that I had for later on in the show where Apple, and I'll go ahead and talk about it now because they kind of relate. Apple apparently had inked a deal with Google Cloud Platform for some of their iCloud services.
Yeah.
I found this was actually a MacRumors article from Wednesday, which was actually yesterday. And then today, this broke at like 3:55 p.m. Pacific time. So just, right before the show, that there's a rumor that Apple is working to create its own cloud storage infrastructure. So,
I heard that before I left work today.
well, you got it out for MacRumors, dude. How about that?
I don't know how I heard it before.
NPR.
Is it on NPR?
No, I want to say and
You had another station on other than NPR?
No, I'm saying
say it ain't so.
I want to say Andrew Ware came and told me.
Which it
or
would
it
not
may have been Ryman Rex.
What surprised me was
Or it could have been John
the
Capone.
story
I
of
don't know.
Apple, signing a deal with Google Cloud Storage kind of was like, well, that's kind of surprising, but it does not surprise me a bit if Apple's trying to work on their own cloud storage infrastructure.
Yeah.
But anyway, the article about the Apple with Google, apparently they've been using no, excuse me. Let me backtrack. Apparently they've been using this article about the rumored their own cloud storage, and
Yes.
I know I've confused people like Daniel Methangani. I apologize, Daniel, but they've been using other services like Amazon has a service, Microsoft Azure, which we've talked about Azure on here. That's Microsoft's
Azure.
cloud service.
As you're waiting.
Yes.
Yeah, so
It's
Go get coffee.
my take on this is I wouldn't be surprised if Apple's doing their own, but they kind of the whole iCloud Drive stuff that they had, like the online storage, was kind of not really done well. So hopefully they'll get it right this time.
Unbelievable.
Well, right now there's an iCloud scam that's probably worse
Really?
than ransomware. Yeah.
Oh,
So it actually happened to a lady. I want to say her iMac was maybe 5 or 6 years old. So it was one of those you had to have a paper receipt to be able to prove that it was yours. Because now I think you can they'll keep up with your purchases and
yeah.
Apple
When
account and stuff like that.
if you buy it from the Apple Store, they have a record. But I think if you buy it from a non-Apple Store, when you first turn it on and sign in with your Apple ID, they kind of register it with them, so they know it's your
2Q.
device.
But I want to say it may have been a Russian that possibly broke into this lady's iCloud account and locked everything down.
Wow.
And sent her, through the Find My iPhone, you can send messages. Basically said, hey, you've got 24 hours to send me the money, or I'm going to release all your information. And it was everything backed up in her iCloud account. A lot of personal information.
That's a lot worse than ransomware. Getting your
Yes.
stuff encrypted to where you can't get to it.
This was like,
But it's the opposite. What you have stored in the cloud getting put out there for the world.
yeah. So, and
Is that your hack of the week or?
Not really.
Okay.
I want to say I don't have the story pulled up, but if you're an American Express customer, I think they had like a data breach 3 years ago, and they're just now coming out and saying, "Hey, by the way, we were breached." But they're saying that it was not any of their systems; it was all payment processors and not them. But they will keep an eye out on it for you.
Oh, of course.
So,
which I like my American Express card, so that kind of
Yeah,
concerns me.
I mean-
I've had one. I got it within the last 3 years.
yeah. So I mean, that's the thing. I mean, anything that's fraudulent purchase, you just say that's fraudulent purchase.
I tell you what I've
Done.
had. I tell you what I've had
There you
a
go.
problem with. Maybe somebody can call in and tell me what I'm doing wrong.
We can tell you.
Sure.
Got two techies.
I'm
right here.
having a. I'm not gonna. We bank with a particular company, and here's what I've been having a problem. Every now and then, certain gas stations, when I scan the card, they
Yeah.
want me to put in a zip code.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get that with some credit card at some gas stations. So
One of our cards.
Yeah.
In I put the zip code in and it denies it automatically. I mean, it doesn't. It says our billing zip code. It's so frustrating. I couldn't get gas last
let
night.
me let me ask you.
I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's you or what, but is it a debit card you're using at the gas pump?
Yeah.
Well, there's the first mistake right there. Don't use
Yeah,
don't use a debit card
Oh,
at the gas
yeah.
pump. The guru says do not use it at the gas pump.
I wouldn't use a debit card anyway.
I know
The only place
I know you
only place
wouldn't.
I'd use a debit card is at my own bank's ATM. That is the only place I use it.
Even then, I would kind of be hesitant.
Well, I mean, but like if it's after hours and I need some cash.
I use a debit card.
But folks,
Of course, I mean, I use
get a credit card. I know it's very tempting just to charge stuff on it, but you just got to have a discipline to when the bill comes, make sure you're ready to pay it off. If you need to, if you make multiple payments throughout the month.
Yeah.
But credit cards, you're so much more protected from fraudulent activity.
Yeah.
You just got to call and say, I did not do this.
Yep.
And
I'll say this: we actually need to probably put this. I saw a video earlier this week. A guy at a gas station, the little thing that you swipe your card that's right there in front of the cashier.
Yeah.
Within 2 seconds, overlays the skimmer.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
just like
At inside the store.
Inside the store was
Wow.
like, click, boom.
See, and that's the
done.
thing. Here's the thing. The whole bank card industry is wanting to go to the chip cards.
Yeah.
Or
chip and signature.
Well, I call it just chip and dip.
Chip and
somebody
dip.
I work
Chip
with
and
started
dip
calling
card?
it chip and dip, so that's what I'm using.
All right.
That's
Anyway,
pretty much.
the smart chip with it generates a one-time token and it's more secure. It's harder to. It's not impossible to.
It's been
duplicate,
broken.
but it's a lot harder than a mag stripe, which is like 1970s or earlier technology.
Well, it's been broken, and I know we've covered this on the show because we were talking about this back when it was coming into effect.
Mm-hmm.
They got to the suppliers of these cards. I mean, it's like it's done.
But what bothers me is like they're talking about they've mandated like by October of last year that was supposed to be in place, and like merchants that are not doing it are gonna basically they're gonna have to eat it if there's fraudulent activity
that comes
because they're
back
not
on
using the latest hardware.
Yeah.
So. And they still, gas pumps. I'm not yet seeing a gas pump where you can do chip and dip or contactless payments.
I can't think of one that I can use the chip.
I've never seen one, but I prefer using I'm the apple juicer around here, but I like Apple Pay, and more merchants are getting on board.
Yeah.
I was at Winn-Dixie the other night, and they had the little symbol on the self checkout.
Yeah.
And I just got up there. I use my Apple Watch because you can do it with Apple Watch or an iPhone 6 or higher. Just go up there, click the button twice, put your phone up near to it. Done.
So for me, what I do for my tap to pay option, because I was explaining this to one of our listeners the other day, is I use Android Pay, but my default card and the only card that I have tied to Android Pay is my Google Wallet card.
So the Android Pay, that's a RFID card, like a
No. That's
is it using your device?
Yes.
Okay.
That's Android Pay is your tap to pay.
Okay.
And you have to register a card with it.
Right.
So my card that I have registered is my Google Wallet.
Yeah.
Well, the only money that's tied to my Google Wallet is what I put on my Google Wallet. card.
Okay, so you kind of control.
So I really control.
You have to put money on the Google Wallet before you can buy something with it.
Yes.
Okay.
So smaller transactions, it's simple. But
Yeah.
now if I'm going to go, buy, I don't know, say I'm
going to buy groceries.
Going to buy groceries. Perfect example. I'm not going to have $200 sitting on my.
You got to make sure to get that. Make sure there's money in there to cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's I would say it's. I mean, maybe it's probably not the. There's probably a flaw in my system there, but at least that way I can limit it.
Yeah.
And then if I lose that card, I can immediately lock it. And I know there's credit cards and debit cards out there that have that option.
Yeah,
now.
mine do.
But I mean, I can from my phone lock. But then again, my phone is also passcode locked and encrypted.
Yep.
So
that's the same thing with. I mean,
I try to put as many safeguards there
and
to
for
my
those,
money.
Those who aren't familiar with Apple Pay, it works similar.
Yeah.
But I don't. I guess you could tie it to a Google Wallet.
I'm sure
But
you could.
probably could. Basically,
card.
the credit card company or the bank has to be on board with using it as a form of payment. Like we talked about American Express. My American Express card is one of those cards that's supported.
Okay.
So you go in and initially set up that card.
Yeah.
That's the only card I have associated with Apple Pay. You could have multiple. You could have as many cards you wanted, provided that the bank supports Apple Pay. But I just have one for simplicity's sake, and I use that card most because I get the points and all that stuff. But
absolutely.
But you just go up to the cash register. They have the little. If it has that little tap to pay symbol, if y'all seen like the little kind of oval with the 3 little lines, you just go up there after you've ready to pay. It's time to pay. You just sit your device up there near it, and with the Apple Wallet or Apple Pay, you just do the Touch ID sensor, and ding, it'll do a little ding, and you're done.
Ding.
Yeah. And with that, it sends a one-time token to the merchant. They do not have your card number.
Yeah.
So all the merchants got is a number that's only good one time.
Yep.
So if somebody got their credit card data, that would be useless to the thief, which is a good thing.
Yep.
So
y'all done.
I suppose
y'all didn't fix.
I guess we can stop if you want to talk about something else.
Swap to something different.
No,
that was our solution.
That's not a fix.
Sure, it is.
No,
what you're using is broken.
No, it's not.
So let me ask you this, Bruce:
It's not working.
Is there any way
Are
you
you
can?
sure they have your zip billing
Yes,
zip code right?
yes.
Let me ask you this, since we're talking about payment, and what if somebody did not have a smartphone that had like an Android phone, did not have the
tap to pay,
the hardware in it? Is there a way you can do this without a smartphone on the Google side?
I mean, they give you.
Is that card? Google Wallet, the Google Wallet? Does that card work?
They
does
give
that
you
card would work the same way? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I was curious because I don't know. Because I don't have
I'm not going to show the back side.
I don't have an Apple credit card.
So that's. I mean.
Yeah. The Google Wallet card.
Make sure there's no reflections.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. Google Wallet card. It's a MasterCard.
It's that Hey Techies credit card, Michael.
No,
that's why it's not working. Use the wrong zip code.
That's
it.
Yeah,
there you go.
That's it.
All that stuff we ordered.
Yeah. Didn't go through.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I know this is kind of low tech, but my lovely wife accidentally washed my wallet. And
well, there you go.
And I have been needing a new wallet for quite some time. And if you're looking at a new wallet to slim down your footprint on your buttocks, I recommend looking at Bellroy. Good. Seems like a good wallet so far.
Bellroy, yeah.
Bellroy.
Not a sponsor of the show.
Not a sponsor. We have none.
Okay.
So
we have patrons.
I've been happy with it thus far, and it has slimmed down my wallet. So.
All right. Well, we're going to cut to break real quick and pick up some time on the backside. So, thank you so much for being with us tonight. Coming up this week in tech history. Be right back.
If you missed it live, then catch the Hey Techies Rewind, Sundays at noon.
Red Threads Apparel carries a wide selection of t-shirt designs for every school function, work party, and much more. They also offer custom layouts for monogrammed attire. Red Threads Apparel is located at 16 Square Unit 8 in downtown Jacksonville on the square. Their business hours are Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. For more information on Red Threads powered by O Brand, visit their Facebook page at O Brand Marketing or call 256-770-9880.
Looking to cure that sweet tooth of yours? Mad Hatter Cupcake Shop is now proudly serving the Jacksonville area at their new location at 16 Public Square on the Square. Mad Hatter is open Tuesday through Saturday from 11 to 9 p.m. and they are closed on Sunday and Monday. For additional information, be sure to check out their Facebook page, www.facebook.com/Mad Hat Cupcakes, and their website, www.madhatcakes.com.
Gamecock Outfitters, located on the square at 109 Ladica Street in Jacksonville, provides customers with outdoor apparel and gear. Gamecock Outfitters is able to help you find exactly what you need for every outdoor adventure. Gamecock Outfitters is open Tuesday through Friday from 10 o'clock to 5:30 and Saturday from 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock. For additional information, contact them at 256-435-2008 or check out their website at GadsdenOutfitters.com.
This is 91.9 FM, WLJS Jacksonville, your cure for common radio.
Welcome back to the Hey Techies Show. More of our old TV theme music.
That's right. I tell you, the old shows from the 70s and 80s were some of the best television ever.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm a child of the 80s. I consider myself a child of the 80s, but I love the 60s and 70s television shows.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Does Bruce, you know what that
Nah,
theme
Bruce-
was from? What show? Or you weren't paying attention?
I was not paying attention. I'm sorry.
He's been calling these songs out just like
He's trying to
boom, boom,
figure
boom,
out
boom,
this
boom.
date before you give it to him. He
No,
wants
it's not
to. He
a
wants to
date.
even.
I was trying to figure out a language.
All right, well, let's do the This Week in Tech History. How about it?
But that was.
Are you done, Bruce?
That was the music from Chips.
Okay,
That's a good show.
All right, I'm paying attention.
All right, so
Let's do this.
for those who are new to the show, this is the time where I go and research something in tech that happened on this week, some point in the past. It can be we've done stuff from the early 20th century, like the 1920s, 30s, and we've done stuff just a couple years ago. So, and all I do is give Bruce the date, and he has to figure it out. And Bruce's record, I don't know what his record is, but it's better than 50%.
It's up there.
Yeah, he's done it like 2 or 3 weeks in a row. He's got it right. So,
and the thing is that you always put this in the show notes.
yes, that's the funny part. We have a shared Google document where we put all our stories, but Bruce does not look in that document.
No.
So this has been out here for a little while, and Bruce does not look at it yet. Michael,
There
and
was
I
one
are
time I
privy to that.
accidentally did because I was doing my job and putting a link somewhere for something. I was like, oh, saw it. Sorry.
Yeah.
But I was honest.
Yeah, you were. All right, so here's the date, Bruce.
Okay.
March 12 of 2008.
Okay, let me think where I was in 2008. March 12th?
Yes.
2008. That would have been 4 years. So I'm thinking Hulu?
Dang, you got it again.
I got it. It's when Hulu was released. Yeah, I actually remember signing up for Hulu.
I'm sorry you don't win any money for that, but that's the best thing I could find for a correct
That was
sound
tough.
effect.
I was actually upstairs from where we're at now whenever I signed in. I was
Bruce was the first person to sign in the Hulu.
Well, no. But I mean, I was upstairs using it. So
you're one of the first users of Hulu,
I guess.
Man, yes, the video streaming service Hulu was launched to the public, and that was it surprised me. It was 2008. I figured it was more recent than that.
Yeah, I really had to think where I was at because I was like, where was I at in 2008? So yep.
there you go.
I was actually upstairs. So
Looks like we might got a
where we're at
call
now.
if we catch it real quick. Yeah, so Hulu.
Yeah, man, that was great. And then they put it to where you had to. Well, I mean, you don't have to pay, but I mean, I can wait a couple weeks for that episode to come on or whatever. Which, by the way, that brings into all this cord cutting that's going on. And
Yes.
I'm really thinking.
Oh, more cord cutting
next
for Bruce.
month, maybe the month. I called DirecTV. They said they couldn't help me, and I was like, "Well, I'm telling you, if I go one more month and my bill goes up, I'm out." Because they kept reassuring me, "Well, if you call back later, we may have some discounts for you." I'm sorry, I'm not, and they keep wanting to bring me down. I'm telling you, the fact that AT&T is now their owner has made the company horrible. So,
oh my goodness, here he goes.
But it's so close to Game of Thrones that it's going to be tough to make sure that I'm signed up for new stuff before I cancel the old stuff,
right? Without
paying,
right
out the ear for all of it just to watch some shows.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe we'll see. Stay with us for a couple more months, and we'll find out whether I cut the cord. Well, it's not really a cord I'm cutting, whether I dismount my satellite or not.
All right.
So I missed all that. I was on the phone. Sorry.
Yeah, we were talking about cord cutting.
Cord
did you
cutting.
Did you get the video I
yes,
sent you about?
Yes, we're gonna put that in the show notes.
Yeah.
I want to watch it too. I hadn't had a chance to watch it.
Yeah, it is quite interesting. So definitely that if you're like me and you don't read the show notes, this is definitely one to go and view, and it really will make you say wow.
Oh yeah, the guy putting the thing over
the skimmer. I mean, here's the thing. I always thought they had to put it over the ones where you had to dip the card into the machine.
No,
but this is a whole nother.
This is the thing too. Like this had to been scoped out. Like they would know the exact model, and that's the thing. That's these guys' business. They can look at They could probably look at a credit card reader and tell you who's the manufacturer of it, how old it is, like what it can take.
See, it looked like to me they distracted the clerk. One of them distracted the clerk while the other one put over it.
That's just wild. But I have a kind of a related story about them, compromising. I guess you call it a compromise of these little swap machines. They're everywhere now.
And,
I think I've said this before on the show. Before my career in IT, I worked in a major retailer, and I'm not going to disclose the name just for anonymity purposes. But while I was there, the store had the swap machines for years. And this was a couple years before I left. They had sent down some updates to the point of sale system, and because when stuff would break, we would move it from lane to lane, register to register. Because there's certain ones you want to keep open, and like this would be your junk one, where if you had broken parts, you can put it here and it don't affect your operation until you can get somebody out there to fix it. Because they contract with a company and all that stuff. But here's the thing: they made it where we couldn't move the debit machines, the swap machines, from register to register. It was kind of the unique identifier of that device was tied to that hardware of that point of sale terminal. So if you moved it, it would cease to function. On that other terminal. And if it got unplugged for a certain period of time, it would also cease to function if you plugged it back in, because apparently there was speculation, rumor that people were going and taking these things out of the store, going and working on them, changing the chips out or doing something to them, reflashing them, putting them back, sneaking them back in and plugging them up. And then, it's transmitting that information wirelessly or somehow storing it. And it was also being sent on through the systems to be, to do its job. But they were, skimming the stuff at the hardware level. But they had those safeguards. They put those safeguards in place to prevent that.
But this wouldn't have protected that. Or those safeguards.
No. This is that's a whole nother level of skimming there. So
that was your good times at Megamart.
Scary skimming.
But that's why you should. I never, since this is probably when Target got compromised, and they didn't get compromised through this. They got compromised another way, but that stuff got leaked out.
Well, Home Depot's been targeted.
Yeah, but after all that started going down, I made a decision.
Wendy's.
Yeah, and I said no more debit cards anywhere. I use a credit card exclusively. I have, and the thing with a credit card, you can get in trouble and rack up a lot of debt. You have to be very vigilant. Treat it like it's your money, your checking account, and don't charge of $5,000 when you know you don't have it.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna cost you a lot in the interest and stuff.
And also, that's one thing that's nice about my bank. Whenever I pull up my account on my phone, it shows both, and then it shows basically what my balance is. Basically, if
Right.
I were to pay that completely off, that's really how much money I have.
Yeah, and the thing with majority of credit cards, all the ones I've had, as long as you pay the balance in full every month, they don't charge you any interest.
No.
If you pay it off in that same month,
Yeah.
you're good. So when
Yeah.
you get the bill, if you pay it off, you're done.
Yep.
And most major credit cards have an app of some sort where you can monitor this.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's not like a shock when the bill comes in the mail.
Yeah. Which, I mean, speaking of credit cards, I just opened a Lowe's credit card this past weekend, and I didn't want to, but it was like, you'll save 5% on your purchase. So as soon as we purchased it, I turned around and paid it off.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
but
but
a
I mean,
lot of people do that.
Well, and here's the thing: a lot of these.
I mean, while I was in the store, I paid it.
See, I
didn't even have the card yet.
Some stores give you some sort of discount or you
Yeah.
get bonus points,
Some incentive to.
Yeah, there's incentives to use it.
Yeah.
So, and even if you pay it off every month, you still get the incentive.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what's burning your?
Oh no, I'm
you're
fine. I'm
chomping
just,
at the bit to say something.
No, I'm just listening to you
Oh,
guys.
okay.
I mean, I really don't know if I have any dogs in these fights that y'all are talking about here, because I don't have any of these automatic pay stuff. I don't have Apple Pay. I don't have Android Pay. I don't have Andrew Pay. I don't have.
You have a
Andrew
debit
Wear.
card that doesn't work at any gas station.
Apparently, I've got a debit card that drives me crazy.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Well, let's go back to paying cash, folks. Writing checks.
Hey, I'll tell you
sometimes
what.
that works.
I'll tell you what.
But
That's probably a good idea.
Yeah, but I want to pay at the pump.
Yeah.
I don't want to go inside.
Well, here's the thing: is talk about paying with checks. I realized I went to pay my vehicle taxes and get DMV, you can get the tags renewed, as people call it around here. But right across the hall from where you do that is where you pay your property tax, and usually that comes due in Alabama later in the year for your personal property, like your real estate, your house, your land. But they're no longer taking checks at the tax collection office for property tax.
So how do you pay?
You'd have to pay, I guess, they've done credit cards for years. If they charge you a fee, or you'd have to go get some sort of official check from the bank, like a cashier's check, I guess, or a money order.
That's
something
crazy.
that's more guaranteed. They're not taking personal checks anymore for paying for property tax. Now they took a check across the hall when I had to renew my tag.
I would try to pay them, and I'd be like, "So can you pay them cash?"
I guess you can. If you want to, walk in there with cash.
I would just say, can your paperwork reflect that you refused my payment? That I attempted to pay my taxes and you refused?
I don't know.
Only Bruce would say that. We gotten way off
Can I get that in
subject here.
writing?
Yes.
Well, I really don't want to do a overclock stack because
you don't.
I have a ton, and all of them,
We're gonna do it right now.
Okay.
Yes, we're starting.
I was just gonna say all of them need to really be talked about in depth. So,
well, you don't have. Well, then fine.
Well,
We'll
yeah,
do it
Bruce,
now.
we need to do like an extra.
But look,
we need to do like an
we've
extra
only
show or
got
something.
8 minutes left, so
well,
we're gonna have
overclock
to.
stack, ready to go.
Ready to go.
All right, who's first?
Did you know that there is a mission? I know,
impossible,
unbelievable, right? ExoMars mission to find life on the red planet. It begins. The British-backed mission launched the other day in Kazakhstan and sent it up. It's supposed to be gone take it 9 months, something like that. I think it's a long time to even get to where it's going, which I guess is Mars. So who's next?
I'll go next. Bruce will like this. Google is going on tour. They want to get feedback about their products. Google's one of these companies, they've never really, there was no easy way to contact them, but they're now actually going to go on tour and do a little road tour and want to, their user experience research team is wanting to get feedback from their customers, their users of their products. And they're going to cities such as Atlanta, Georgia, Boulder, Colorado, Salt Lake City, Utah, and Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina. There's a full list of dates and stuff. We're going to put this article in the show notes, and it links off to Google's on tour map. Research Tour 2016 is what they're calling it.
Well, we talked about the iCloud thing being worse than ransomware, but now there's a piece of ransomware that's supposedly impossible to crack. I think it is ransomware 3.01. If you have a version of that, pretty much give it up because it's 256-bit encryption, and they use a unique key for each one. So you're basically SOL.
Well, the FBI is going to ask him for a back door.
Oh
That's
yeah.
right. The NSA's got the information already.
That's right.
Oh, the quick little backup on the Google tour. They're going to be in Atlanta March 21st to 25th, which is next week.
There you go.
Bruce, so Bruce, you go report on that.
I will be gone.
Scientists at the University of Michigan have developed a spray-on coating which is said that they can stop ice building up on any surface. And the spray-on spray is sort of rubbery. It makes the surface rubbery. What they found is that the rubbery surface will stop things like water. It can be sort of even water repellent. The reason why, it's not so much that it repels the water, but what it does, it moves ever so slightly to vibration. It causes the fact that the ice will not be allowed to build up because there's no constant ability for the ice to start collating together to form. I mean, the water to start, connecting together in the molecules. It just it's rubbery and it causes that friction, I guess. Who's next?
I guess I'll be next. I just found this like less than an hour ago, but there's more people getting fired up about Twitter's their algorithmic timeline, the non-chronological, and I think our friend Spinks Megason from Red Zone Weather also said that Instagram's doing the same thing, but this is not about Instagram, it's about Twitter. People are getting fired up again, but apparently there's a trick on iOS and Android and web users, different tricks where you can change it back to the traditional timeline, and I'll just put this. You can go look at this article. It links off and tells you how you can do it, and so if you want your old Twitter timeline back, you may be able to get it back, at least for now.
So 2 or 3 things real quick from me. I'm not going to go over this one, but there is a lengthy article that should be in the show notes that's best smartphone cameras. So if you're really interested in the camera on your phone, they put the Galaxy S7, iPhone 6s, Nexus 6P, and Lumia 950 up against each other, and it's, like I said, very lengthy. If you're interested in those, definitely go read it and figure out which one you think's the best. But the other 2 things is that there's iOS malware, uses copy protection and infect pure devices, so your device does not have to be jailbroken, and it does a man-in-the-middle attack and grabs app authorization codes. But there's also more than 1 billion Snapdragon-based Android phones vulnerable to hacking because of an issue in the Snapdragon chip itself, which is also used in a lot of Internet of Things devices. So 2 things there. Basically, if you're an Android or an iOS user, there's some vulnerabilities.
Go back to the tin can string.
Speaking of vulnerabilities, have you ever heard of typo squatters?
No.
You haven't?
Is that where they misspell the domain name?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
They are targeting, according to this, Mac users with .om domain scam. And so instead of writing .com, you accidentally put .om, like popular sites.
Like apple.om.
Yeah, they make stuff like that. And when you get there, it has malware of some type. Yeah, and it says on Windows PC users who visit one of the typo squatter sites are redirected an ad network where they are peppered with online ads.
There's not a heytechieshow.om, so if you mistype that, you're safe for now.
Yeah.
At least
well,
at the time
I'll
of
say
this recording.
today I was looking for the Wells Fargo login.
Yeah.
And I think it's like onlineservices.wellsfargo.com.
Yeah.
And I was trying to figure out what IP address they were using. And you can, online services, wellsfargo.com is an available domain. So if you were to miss that dot, somebody could totally create.
That's not good.
That is not good. But I was just like, you'd think Wells Fargo would have bought that.
You would think.
So if you're out there and you want to make some money in a non-legitimate way, you didn't hear it from here.
That is Bruce at heytechieshow.com.
Which we are not supporting. The guru and I says no. It's funny, but we're not supporting it.
Well, I mean, that's how it's usually hacks like that. They're so simple.
Be careful what you type.
Now, if you want to make some legal money by buying it up and try to squat on it and then sell it for a good price, then that might be a deal.
Yeah.
That might be a legal deal. What you got, Guru?
That's all I've got.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
I'm done.
You got anything left, Bruce?
Yeah, McAfee uses web beacons that can be used to target and serve advertising to users. So if you've gotten McAfee antivirus because Adobe said here or Java said here or whatever else updated and said here you're installing this. Basically, it's working like the Verizon Super Cookie. So, and there's actually a set of devices that come with it on it. Usually, OEM devices that's pre-bundled. And the only way to get rid of it is to uninstall it.
Okay, so I guess I'll wrap us up. Did you know that Lockheed Martin is developed or is on the brink of developing a hypersonic breakthrough plane?
Yes.
And it's,
6 times
it
or
can
4
go
times?
up to 6 times the speed of sound.
Yeah, the
That's
the
what
same
they're
folks that
touting.
brought us the Lockheed L-1011, one of the best passenger airlines ever.
Yeah.
At least somebody said that.
And they're talking. It's a really.
No,
go ahead. You're trying to get my attention.
So how many passengers is it going to take?
Right now, Guru, I think it's a single passenger.
Yep, single passenger.
This is a I'm sorry. This is a military plane.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm sorry. This is intentionally a military plane.
Another thing is we talked about this last week on the show about people saying Windows 7 was automatically upgrading to Windows 10. Microsoft calls foul on that and says people are in full control and they are not doing it. So,
liar, liar, pants on fire.
Automatically upgrades to Windows 10.
Yep, they're saying they leave it. And
Well, my neighbor on the next street over there is automatically upgraded because I was like, "Oh, y'all put Windows 10 on here," and there's like, "No, it just did it by itself."
Yeah.
So,
well, and I was going to bring up the thing about the government revealing Snowden was the target of a lava bit case, but Wired decided that they didn't want me to view it because I have an ad blocker.
Yeah.
And if you know anything about everything that's going on with ads,
I got one pick downrightnow.com where you can go find if your favorite social site is down.
Get down right now.
Yeah. Take care. Have a good night.
Hey Techies Show.
The Hey Techies Show is produced by Mike Stedham and co-produced by The Guru. Station manager is Billy Dunn. Join us again next time for another exciting installment of The Hey Techies Show. It's going to be great, maybe.